Hey clubkers, welcome back to the channel. It is Easter, a time for a lot of people to gorge on chocolate eggs. We looked for Easter eggs of a different variety today, so I'm here at the home park, Alton Towers. I'm going to give you the A to Z of Easter eggs challenge. We go from the letter A all the way to Z with hidden details and Easter eggs from the theme parks. Let's see how many you can spot here at Alton Towers. A is for Alton Manor. We're outside the Curse at Alton Manor. My favourite dark ride here. So much history in here. It used to be the Haunted House. It then became Jewel. And like I say, now it is the Curse at Alton Manor. But more than that, inside this ride are so many theme park Easter eggs and past attractions. I did manage to find two pictures the park had previously released from inside the Curse that highlight just how many Easter eggs there are. So we've got the Wild Mouse, an old coaster in the park, Around the World in 80 Days, the Corkscrew, the iconic coaster, and of course, Ugland. And in this one we've got the now defunct Blade, the Doll's House walkthrough attraction, and of course, Ripsaw. What I'd advise, when you've got a chance, get on this ride, keep an eye out for all the references, all the hidden details, all the Easter eggs for past attractions. You'll find things like Around the World in 80 Days, you'll find Corkscrew, you'll find Black Hole, Blade. They're all in there, Doom and Sons. Even the rides that haven't gone, so there's little references to the Bjornian, Rita. Yeah, definitely worth heading down, getting on the Curse, and just keeping an eye out. Let us know in the comments what Easter eggs you've seen, in fact, on the Curse at Alton Manor. B is for Bianca Sammet, the divisional director here at Alton Towers, who's really put theming at the forefront of all the latest investments at the park. Now, there are a couple of winks and nods, subtle references to the lady herself. I'm going to show you a couple here in Forbidden Valley. So on the side of this storage container here in Forbidden Valley, you'll see this ID B77. Now this one is a very deep cut, so the B you can assume is B for Bianca. But what about the 77? Believe it or not, 77 was the year Bianca was born, 1977. But that's not the only reference we've got to Alton Towers managing, because behind us there's another one here on the brand new attraction, Toxicator. C is for Corkscrew. Now, Corkscrew was a Vekoma roller coaster that opened at the park in 1980. It closed in 2010, so 30 years of service it gave the park and became a classic for so many people. It's probably a lot of people's first ever thrill coaster. Now, the park honours the roller coaster in a few different ways. At the entrance here, we do have the actual inversions from the Corkscrew at the entrance. But believe it or not, it's not the only piece of Corkscrew that still remains in the park. I'm going to take you there now. So I'm outside of 13 now. Believe it or not, Corkscrew actually used to sit in this location. It was knocked down in 2010 to make room for 13. So it's quite a touching tribute that another part of Corkscrew actually sits at 13. So like I said before, obviously you can find the inversions at the very entrance of the park, but you can find the engine, the motor, inside 13. Now I'm going to go on the ride, and just before you get on, you should be able to see, I should hopefully be able to capture some footage of it. I can't guarantee it, but yeah, as you come into the station, just before you come in, you'll sit outside the station. If you look to your right, you'll actually see it there. So yeah, it's a nice little touching tribute. I'm going to get in the queue. It's 40 minutes. Hopefully I can get you a little bit of footage of it, but I can't guarantee anything.
Inside the vehicle at all times, and hold on tightly with hands at all times.
D is for Doom and Sons. Now, Doom and Sons, think of it as a precursor to the haunted house and ultimately Curse. It was basically a walk round haunted house attraction over on what was Cred Street. Great little attraction, really scary, but there are some little references still hidden around the park, mainly inside the Curse, as we've talked about before. But this hearse outside also is labelled with Doom and Sons. E is for eggs. How could you be doing an Easter egg hunt without some literal Easter eggs? So I'm outside Nemesis Subterra and ride all about an egg. So did you know with Nemesis Subterra, when it first owned, the story was that you were going down to visit some of the Nemesis creatures' eggs. However, like I say, the ride did close for a long time before reopening while Nemesis was being retracked. Now, they took the time to redesign the eggs inside here. So the eggs you now see are different to the eggs that originally opened on the ride, which would seem like a really bizarre idea until you see this. So these are some of the Nemesis creatures' eggs. Okay, these are the redesigned ones that look just like the ones that now inhabit Nemesis Subterra. So I assume the theming for Nemesis Subterra was changed for these eggs. F is for frogs. I'm sat right here at the Tower Street entrance with our froggy friends. Now, a few years ago, there were rumours the frogs were actually going. They were going to leave the park and the whole of Tower Street would completely change. Now, I'm glad that actually the frogs are here to stay. And not only that, they've been incorporating the park in a way never seen before. So the frogs, as you can see at the moment, they're in their phalanx gear. We've got some Toxicator barrels with them as well. So now the park has involved them. It's a little bit of an Easter egg in the event, in the celebration. So, you know, in Oktoberfest has seen them in their German outfits, dressed up as pirates for the pirate adventure. They had the birthday party outfits for the CBBS event as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these evolve now over the years. It's definitely worth checking out the frogs on your visit here to Alton Towers. G is for gravestones. Now, when you're getting on the curse here at Alton Manor, the Q is actually through a graveyard. Now, the graveyard has some very interesting Easter eggs to past attractions and future attractions, as well as some jokey bits on the gravestones. So come with me, I'm going to show you some of them now. H is for Henry Hound. Now, you might be thinking, what the heck's Henry Hound? Now, if you ask most people, who is the icon? Who is the character that embodies Alton Towers? You might get people saying it's the Phalanx or the Ministry of Joy. You may even get the odd people saying Sir Algernon, Darwin the Dodo, or even the Alton Bear. But they were all predated by Henry Hound. Now, Henry Hound started off in 1987 as an animatronic singing and dancing character. When Two Swords took over, they made him into an icon, really, a character for the park. Now, as time's gone on, he has actually become forgotten. But we're here, Wallybum's Way, for one little Easter egg for Henry Hound. So yeah, if you come over to Gangster Gang the Ride, just outside, you'll find Raj's shop. Now, in the window of Raj's shop, you will find quite a few jokey little notes and stuff in the window. However, we're looking at this old poster here for Alton Towers. Now, here you will see Cred Street, as this place used to be known, the Four-Man Barb, Kiddie Kingdom, Corkscrew. We'll also show you what replaced them, but right at the bottom, right there, you've seen him, it's Henry Hound. That's right here on Wallybum's Way, so he's not completely forgotten. He may be gone, but Henry Hound will never be forgotten. I is for inversions, and how can I talk about inversions without coming to the world's most inverting roller coaster? That's in the whole entire world. That's the Smiler. So yeah, the Smiler here over in X Sector. It's known throughout the world as having the most inversions on a roller coaster. In the world, it's got 14 inversions. But did you know there's a nice little Easter egg callback to that? at the very front sign here. So the actual sign has 14 security cameras around it to match the 14 inversions of the smiley. That's not the only interesting thing about the smiley's inversions. So behind me, one of the inversion elements you can see here, that is known as the Staffordshire knot, in honour of the place Alton Towers sits in Staffordshire. So this element, this inversion set here, known as the Staffordshire knot. So yeah, I don't know if you can necessarily see it from this angle, but this is what they call the Staffordshire knot. Like I say, it's based on the actual knot itself. So yeah, the inversion is actually really good for the name of it. It really does match the Staffordshire knot. J is for John Burton. He's the senior creative lead here for Merlin Magic Making. He's had his hands in creating a lot of the attractions here at Alton Towers. Now you will see his initials dotted around on quite a lot of the stuff that he's had a hand in. I've got some footage here to show you where his initials are on Toxicator. You can spot them in the Curse at Alton Manor and Gangster Gran even. I'm going to show you the John Burton Easter egg here on Nemesis Reborn. So we've made it into the Nemesis queue line, and here we can see the John Burton tribute here on the side of a storage container. It says LOC location Forbidden Valley, JW, that's John Wardley 1994, the year Nemesis originally opened, JB John Burton 2024, when Nemesis Reborn opened, and the project name Relentless. So I actually think one of the interesting challenges you set yourself next time you're here at Alton Towers, see how many times you can spot JB around the park. You'd be surprised just how many times the initials JB get about. K is for Katanga Canyon. Now this area of the park is home to the Congo River Rapids and the Runaway Mine Train.
Please remain seated.
So what you might not know is Katanga Canyon as an area opened in 1992. That's when the land opened in 1992. It brings me over to a nice little Easter egg on this board here. So you see on this board, welcome to Katanga Canyon, population 1,992 humans, 2 elephants, 1 giraffe and 4 zebra. So yeah, that is a little touching tribute to the year it officially opened, 1992. L is for language, and did you know when Alton Towers opened their latest secret weapon, Wicker Man, they actually created a whole group of characters that had their own set language. Now this language you can find all across the queue line, and it even extends as far as the merchandise. Now, an interesting thing to bear in mind is this language does actually translate into English as well. So each of the symbols means a letter. You can translate it. And it reads out various messages. So like I say, the language extends all through the queue line. And like I say, even the merch, even the bins, the language is everywhere throughout this ride. So I've recently redone this this piece of theming here, and that is the language. And underneath, you can actually see a translation of it as well. So you can use that to translate the other words further around. So, for example, this T-shirt here has some writing here in the hieroglyphics, the weird language of the Bjornen. It actually spells out "be chosen," believe it or not. Yes, it's a nice little hidden detail that the merch, a lot of the merch, it does have the letter spelled out. There it is again, explaining it. So yeah, a lot of the merchandise has the letters spelling out the various phrases in the language of the Bjornen as well. So a nice little hidden detail for sure. So it's got "be chosen" on the sleeves. Yeah, very subtle little Easter egg there. So M is for music. Now you may not know it by name, but I guarantee that if you hear the first few chords of "In the Hall of the Mountain King" by Edvard Grieg, you would instantaneously relate it to Alton Towers. The song itself has become iconic for this park, and I can't think of any other song that wraps up what this experience is more than that. But did you know that the song itself is interwoven into a lot of the other ride soundtracks here on the park? If you wait round long enough for rides like Wicker Man, Galactica, you'll eventually start to hear bars from that song. So next time you're heading around, keep an ear out for the music that you'll hear around the park. N is for Nemesis, and no, I don't mean Nemesis Reborn. I mean the original Nemesis monster that existed here before the retrack and recreation of the iconic monster itself. Now, believe it or not, you can still find a part of the Nemesis monster here at Alton Towers. I'll go show you that now. So, I said I'd show you a piece of old Nemesis creature. We're inside Bunker 94, and above me, you'll see in a moment, the original Nemesis eye.
This process is to be initiated
Nice to see you.
after the orderly execution of.
So yeah, like I say, we're in the shop, and here is one of the original Nemesis monster eyes.
Thank you for your diligence and commitment to maintaining the integrity of our operations.
O is for oak, the chained oak to be precise. And just outside of Alton Towers is a piece of a local history, and it's an oak tree covered in chains. Now, obviously there's lots of stories around this, and the presiding one is the one that's actually told here on the ride Hex, the legend of the towers, and that's a curse on the tree, and every time a branch fell, one of the Earl's family died. Whether that's true or not, we don't know. I've got to be honest, one of the branches fell a couple of years ago. They did check in with the Earl, none of his relatives were dead, so obviously the curse isn't real, but whether that's the reason why this oak is chained, we don't know. But believe it or not, it's not the only part. Hex isn't the only part of this park where you'll see reference to that chained oak. I'm going to show you somewhere that might just surprise you, so let's head over there now. But Hex, believe it or not, is not the only place you'll find reference to the chained oak. We're actually here outside Gangster Grand the Ride, so I've got an Easter egg for you in here tied to the legend of the chained oak. So let's head inside and I'll show you this reference now. So you enter the queue. Hopefully it's a quiet day today. Just saunter in and show you this little reference. But yeah, let's have a look. So yeah, as you're walking through, you'll see these wall framed pictures on the walls, various characters. However, we're about to get to one specific. So this is Charles Talbot, the 15th Earl of Shrewsbury, a character from the story of Hex. And what you see in the background, it is the chained oak. So yeah, a lovely little reference in here of the chained oak. P is for planetarium. So behind this queue line here, outside of Oblivion, inside it you will find an old prop that used to be part of Alton Towers Planetarium. I'm going to pop in there, I'm going to show you this prop. It was part of the planetarium. So we made it into the queue for Oblivion. So I'm going to show you this piece from the old planetarium here now. So as you enter this building here, you'll see this very random device here in the middle. So yeah, this was a piece from the old Alton Towers Planetarium. Now it's a piece of theming in the Oblivion queue line. Q is for queue line. Now, believe it or not, there is a little bit of an Easter egg here in the Wicker Man queue line. So, I'd like to show you this at some point, hopefully when the Sky Ride opens, you'll be able to see it much better. But the start of the queue line actually spells a W and an M for Wicker Man. I'm going to walk through it and hopefully show you, but I don't think you'll get it unless we are up above. So hopefully we will get eventually up on those cable cars at some point. I'll show you much better. Yeah, so this is the queue line here, and it does spell out a W and an M. You can't really see it, so you have to take my word for it, but when we get on the escalators, I'll show you. So yeah, this queue line might look like it does a lot of weird forward and backwards in. Now that's because it is built to spell out the letters W and M for Wicker Man. Like I say, hopefully at some point the cable cars will be open. I'll be able to show you much better from above, but you'll have to take my word for it. You can, to be fair, see this W here. You kind of see it on there, from up there. I hope you can tell anyway. I'm not making this up. I promise. R is for Rita, Alton Towers Intamin Rocket. Probably the shortest experience here with a super fast launch, lasting about 23 seconds. But did you know that famous pre-launch spiel? Hold on tight, keep your head back, you must escape, was voiced by Brian Henson, the son of Jim Henson and the owner of the Jim Henson Company. You may be wondering who that is. That is one of the voices of the Muppets themselves. He also voiced Jack O'Lantern in the film Return to Oz, Now, there are lots of other famous voices around Alton Towers, and I'd love to break down some more in a future video. So please drop us a like and a comment if you'd like to see more famous voices breakdowns here at Alton Towers.
Keep your head down. Hold on tight. You must escape. Go! Go! Go!
S is for Scarefest. Now, Scarefest is Alton Towers' Halloween event where you can take on scare mazes. Now, Alton Towers do actually theme some of their scare mazes to their rides and attractions. At the moment, we've got Compound, which is themed around the Nemesis and Phalanx story over in Forbidden Valley. In previous years, we have seen mazes themed to the Smiler in the Sanctuary. And when Wicker Man was opening, you had one for the Wicker Man. Now, believe it or not, we got a little bit of an Easter egg here to that very scare maze. So we have got here the Welcome Inn. So a little bar. It is closed today, so I can't show you inside. It's a little themed bar called the Welcome Inn. Now, the little reference here is that the scare maze that opened here, it linked in with the Wicker Man, was called the Welcoming. It was in the courtyard just around the corner. So yeah, a little tie in there. This is called the Welcome Inn. A little bit of a play on words for the Welcome Inn, the old scare maze.
Control, this is Thunder. Startup complete. Systems green across the board. Ready for departure, over.
Copy that, Thunder. You are clear for departure. Confirming cargo load. Over.
Affirmative, Control. Cargo being loaded now. Securing and verifying. Stand by for confirmation, over.
T is for Thunder Valley. So, all of Forbidden Valley didn't used to be known as Forbidden Valley. At one point, it was called Thunder Valley, and it was named after the roller coaster that sat in this area, Thunder Looper. So Thunder Looper was an inverting roller coaster, and it sadly didn't last all that long here, unfortunately. It was knocked down. However, the land still has a little Easter egg to Thunder Looper on Thunder Valley, on this chopper right behind me. So this chopper has the identity of THNDR Thunder V, Thunder Valley, Thunder 5. Little homage to the fact that this area used to be known as Thunder Valley. U is for unfinished. Now, did you know the Smiler was supposed to open on the 23rd of May 2013? However, it wasn't ready to open and they had to delay it, and it eventually opened on the 31st of May. Now, there is a little bit of a cheeky homage to that, a little hidden detail inside the Smiler station. So if you go into the baggage hold, if you look up on the ceiling, you'll see some paint rollers stuck to the ceiling, just as a little joke really to say, look, it was unfinished. I've got my windbreaker on. I'm going to get on the Smile. I'm going to get in the queue. I'm going to show you, hopefully, some footage of those paint rollers. V is for vertical. Well, not exactly. So, I'm outside of Oblivion. Alton Towers marketed this one as the world's first vertical drop coaster. And you'll see the advertising for that everywhere. Okay, it's well renowned throughout the world. However, did you know that's not actually true? So Oblivion, next time somebody says to you, oh, the world's first vertical drop coaster was Oblivion, just remind them it's only 87.5 degrees. It's not 90 degrees.
Centrifugal rotation.
you is for Wasparium. Now, Wasparium is the new compound that the Phalanx are made using the saliva of the Nemesis creature on the new ride, Toxicator. Well, that's a little Easter egg in itself. Let's take a look at Wasparium. So, little interesting detail about Wasparium, the word Wasparium. If you take off the eum, spell it backwards, you've got Ripsaw. Ripsaw. So Ripsaw was another horse topspin that sat in this area of the park. Okay, there's more than one reference to Ripsaw. So obviously we got Wasparium, which I think is a really cute little reference. But we've also got the catchphrase from Ripsaw, "Can you cut it?" So yeah, they're paying homage to the ride that used to sit here. X is for exit through the gift shop. I know I'm kind of cheating on this one a little bit, but when you come off the ride here, Wickerman, you come through the gift shop, which we've been in previously. We've talked about one of the hidden details of the language. But there is a not so hidden detail that a lot of people miss as you leave this gift shop. So I'm going to show you. Just let me know if you've seen this one before or this is the first time you've noticed it. So yeah, look at this, a giant effigy of the Wicker Man up above the exit. Well, I think a lot of people do miss that. I've got to be honest, I've walked through this so many times and until recently I didn't even realise it was here. Y is for years. Now, Alton Towers loves to celebrate its rich history as a park, and it does that by paying homage to the years certain things opened. I'm right here in a point that does that twice. So you see behind me, we've got Bunker 94. 94, the year Nemesis opened. And then just below me, this is Sector 97. 97, the year Ripsaw opened. So if you made it this far into the video, you've watched me trundle through A to Y in the alphabet of Alton Towers Easter eggs. And yeah, I know some of them were a bit contentious, but I bet what you're really wondering is what this clucker's got planned for Z. Well, before I show you, before I go into Z, please do the following. Please smash that like button, it really does help our channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. We'll hatch you again real soon, but not before I've shown you what Z is. So, here we go. And Z is for Z's. And where's a better place to catch these than inside the hotel? So we're outside Alton Towers Hotel. Now, this hotel has actually got lots of Easter eggs and hidden details in themselves. I'm not going to go into too many details, so I'm going to save that for a whole other video. But I'm going to take you in the hotel and show you a couple of Easter eggs worth checking out yourself. Sir Algernon's personal doorbell. Press me.
You're looking splendid. Well, don't stand there tittering on the course then. Come on in, you're going to love it here.
Let's take a ride in the lift. We're on the ground floor. So yeah, the lifts are really cool. If you get in the lift, you can actually have one of several different Alton Towers songs, and that one was from my favourite ride, Toyland Tours, rest in peace. But yeah, loads of little Easter eggs in here worth checking out. seen this chair? It's absolutely massive. I feel tiny on here. Absolutely tiny. So that's every letter of the alphabet completed. I think I've deserved this pint. This is well-earned pint here in the Alton Towers Hotel. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you again soon. Chin chin.